Hey YouTube, how you doing? This is Auntie Mickey. I haven't done one of these in a minute, but I just found this very interesting that this information has come up since the death of OJ. At least I haven't heard this before, but apparently it's out there now. And in case you haven't heard, if you saw my thumbnail, there's a gentleman by the name of Glen Rogers. He's been named the Casanova Killer or the Cross Country Killer, either of those two names. And he's from Ohio, and he has actually confessed in the past to the powers that be, as well as his own family members, that he was the murderer of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. That's very, very interesting because you didn't hear anything about this during the trial. Any of you that were around during that time and saw the trial play out, even the white Bronco, that whole thing, I remember it vividly. But it was considered the trial of the century, trial of the millennium in some cases. But nothing was ever said about someone else confessing. And this particular man is considered to be a serial killer. And the funny part about all of this, well, I won't say funny, but the ironic part about all of this is that he was Nicole's handyman on those grounds that she lived at. Take it for whatever it's worth. You can believe me or you can believe me not. But I'm just passing on this information because it just seems that this information has come to light a lot more now that OJ is gone. Because, of course, let's just be real about it. OJ has always been considered to be guilty, even though he was found not guilty. I personally never thought he was guilty because I'm like, how can one man kill two people at once? He's not a hired killer. Now, hitmen, that's another story. They do that for a living. They've got ways of doing things that other people can't just randomly do out of passion. Okay? Now, according to Mr. Rogers, I'm reading as I'm talking to you, but according to Mr. Rogers, he was actually hired by OJ to break into Nicole's house to steal some expensive jewelry. Maybe he needed the money. I don't know. That part is irrelevant. But this is according to Mr. Rogers and not Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. That was so corny. But anyway, according to what I've read and heard, he was convicted of first-degree murder at 2 separate trials for 2 separate women that he killed. He was found guilty in both cases. The first trial was in 1997 in Florida, and the second one was in June of 1999 in California. Now, he's also suspect in other murders as well. And that's been throughout the United States. That's why he's got the name of the cross-country killer, because he can go from one end to the other of this country. So he was apparently featured on the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list. Let me say it again. Fugitives list. After a crime spree resulting in his first established murder on September 28, 1995. He was sentenced to death in both California and Florida and has been locked up since 1997 and is now on death row at Union Correctional Institution in Rayford, Florida. Now, according to this 2012 cable television documentary, Rogers claimed that he committed the 1994 murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. That's all the notes that I took, because for the most part, you can just put two and two together and come to your own conclusion. Now, all the hoopla that went on back during that time, you never heard of another suspect. They focused completely on OJ for whatever reason. But I can tell you this, it had a lot to do with the billions and billions of dollars that they were making off of this trial. Okay? And they weren't going to take that money away from themselves to convict some nobody when they could convict this running back from his glory days. You know, yeah, OJ was still black. Some of y'all forgot that he was black. He forgot he was black at one point in time. But honey, let me tell you, when they got their hooks on him, they reminded that brother, no, you still a ninja. Yes, you ran a good football game, and that's when we liked you, but now you done killed Blondie over here. Man, please. But I'm not going to go all off into detail. I just wanted to pass that information off to you. If you want to believe it, fine. The man is dead and gone. Okay? And rest in peace, OJ. However, somebody needs to hear the truth, if that's the truth. A lot of people are still saying he's guilty. A lot of people are saying he's not guilty. But I'm going to let you make up your mind. Either way it goes, God knows.